Hi, this is Ridea Keeping It Real, and we are reading through the proverb of the day. It is November the 1st, so we are on Proverbs 1. We started this series on Proverbs 15, so we're going to read 1 through 14 through November 14th. And this is going to be a little bit longer video because I want to, now that we're at Proverbs 1, pulled out the Halley's Bible Handbook. Yes, it has seen its day. it has been around a long time, right? It's how long it's been around, a long time. I got tape everywhere holding it together. It's still together. So I did want to just kind of look at the Halley's Bible Handbook, what it says about Proverbs, so we can have a better understanding of what are Proverbs. So here we go. Proverbs, wise sayings. These are mostly written by Solomon, and it's about the practical affairs of life, especially emphasizing righteousness and fear of the Most High. Okay, so start the book. So like Psalms, which we haven't read through, we'll read through Psalms next, and the Pentateuch, that's the first 5 books of the Bible. The book is divided accordingly to what does that say? To its titles, into 5 parts. The Proverbs of Solomon, 1 through 9. The Proverbs of Solomon, 10 through 24. Proverbs of Solomon, which the men of Hezekiah copied, 25 through 29. The words of Agar, 30. The words of Lemuel, 31. Right? Okay. So thus, most of the Proverbs are ascribed to Solomon. Solomon seems to have born about the same relation to Proverbs that David did to Psalms. Each was the principal writer. Psalms is a book of devotion. Proverbs is a book of practical ethics. And I had to, I kind of looked up what virtue means because it talks down here about virtue. That's an old word to me. Virtue means behavior showing high moral standards. Okay. So Solomon, who is he? So as a young man, he had a consuming passion for knowledge and wisdom. 1 Kings 3, 9 through 12. He became the literary prodigy of the world of his day. His intellectual attainments were the wonder of his age. Kings came from the end of the earth to hear him lecture about botany and zoology. He was a scientist, a political ruler, a businessman with vast enterprises, a poet, a moralist, and a preacher. For all of that, see Kings 4 and 9. 1 Kings 4 and 9. Okay. A proverb, what is that? A proverb is a short, pithy, axiomatic saying, the life of which is antithesis. I forgot, I don't know how to say that word. I know the word, but I don't know how to say it. Or comparison. They are wholly unconnected. That's what I found when I started reading. It's like, there was a verse here about a bad king, and then it's a wife that is annoying, and then it's a foolish person, then back to a bad king. And I'm sitting there thinking, just put all the stuff about the king together, right? No, they are wholly unconnected. Each little verse designed primarily for the young. It's a form of teaching and repetition of practical thoughts in the form that would stick in the mind. And that's what I've seen when I started reading these. They keep repeating themselves over and over again. Subjects. What are the subjects that keep repeating themselves over and over again? Wisdom, righteousness, fear of God, knowledge, morality, chastity, diligence, self-control, trust in God, tithes, proper use of riches, consideration of the poor, control of the tongue, kindness to enemies, choice of companions, training of children, industry, honesty, idleness, laziness, justice, helpfulness, cheerfulness, common sense. So those are the subjects that the Proverbs talk about all over in the different Proverbs, right? The technique of treatment. This book aims to inoculate virtues that are insisted upon throughout the Bible over and over and over in all the Bible. In multiform ways and by diverse methods. God has supplied to man a great abundance of instruction, line upon line, precept upon precept, here a little and there a little. And that is something that, you'll hear a lot of YouTubers say, especially in the Israelite community. And what we've learned from that is that, like, we're reading through the Bible, the books of the Bible, and you're reading through it as a book. But as you finish reading through it as a book, it's so you can know where things are. And when they put these references in the Bible where this relates to that, that's here a little, there a little, precept upon precept. It's like a puzzle, but you need to know how the puzzle looks in order to find the pieces to the puzzle. And a lot of the pieces to the puzzle is certainly not in the 66 books. It's beyond the 66 books. That is all of this. This picture has been hidden. So that's what that means. So line upon line, precept upon precept, here a little, there a little, as to how he wants men to live or people to live, so that there will be no excuse for missing the mark. The teachings of the book of Proverbs are not expressed in a thus saith the Lord, as in the law of Moses, where the same things are taught as a direct command of God, but rather are given as coming out of the experience of a man who tried out and tested just about everything that men could engage in. Moses has said, these things are the commandments of God. Solomon here says, these things which God has commanded are proven by existence to be the best for men. And the essence of human wisdom is in the keeping of God's commandments. It's a very important statement there. God, in the long record of his revelation of himself and his will to man, it seems resorted to every possible method, not only by commandment and by precept, but by example also, to convince men that God's commandments are worth living by. Solomon's fame was a sounding board that carried his voice to the ends of the earth and made him an example to all the world of the wisdom of God's ideas. This book of Proverbs has been called one of the best guidebooks to success that a young man can follow. And it was written for young men, but certainly young women can also learn from it as well. So, chapter 1, which we're going to read today, the object of the book, to promote wisdom, instruction, understanding, righteousness, justice, equity, prudence, knowledge, discretion, learning, sound counsel, that's verses 2 through 7, with splendid words. The starting point is the fear of God, verse 7. Next, giving heed to parental instruction, 8 and 9. Then avoidance of bad companions, 10 through 19. Wisdom cries aloud her warnings, 20 through 33. So that's kind of an overview of what Proverbs is. And now we're going to go ahead and read Proverbs 1. And it's got a little bit more of the beginning of the reading from the Good News Bible. In the beginning, it has its introduction of Proverbs as well. So like I said, this is going to be a longer video, but it is what it is. Proverbs. The book of Proverbs is a collection of moral and religious teachings in the form of sayings and proverbs. Much of it has to do with practical everyday concerns. It begins with the reminder that to have knowledge, you must first have reverence for the Most High, and then goes on to deal with the matters not only in the religious morality, but also of common sense and good manners. Its many short sayings reveal the insights of ancient Israelite teachers about what a wise person will do in certain circumstances. Some of these concern family relations, other business dealings. Some deal with matters of etiquette in social situations, and others with the need of self control. Much is said about the qualities as humility, patience, respect for the poor, and loyalty to friends. So, we're going to read Proverbs 1. That's the outline of the contents of the book of Proverbs. So, Proverbs 1. The value of Proverbs. The Proverbs of Solomon, son of David, king of Israel. Here are proverbs that will help you recognize wisdom and good advice and understand sayings with deep meaning. They can teach you how to live intelligently and how to be honest, just, and fair. They can make an inexperienced person clever and teach young men how to be resourceful. These proverbs can even add to the knowledge of wise men and give guidance to the educated so that they can understand the hidden meanings of proverbs and the problems that wise men raise. Advice to young men. To have knowledge, you must first have reverence for the Most High. Stupid people have no respect for wisdom and refuse to learn. Son, pay attention to what your father and mother tell you. Their teaching will improve your character as a handsome turban or necklace improves your appearance. Son, when sinners tempt you, don't give in. Suppose they say, come on, let's find someone to kill. Let's attack some innocent people for the fun of it. They may be alive and well when we find them, but they'll be dead when we're through with them. We'll find all kinds of riches and fill our houses with loot. Come on, join us. And we'll all share in what we steal. Son, don't go with people like that. Stay away from them. They can't wait to do something bad. They're always ready to kill. It does no good to spread a net when the bird you want to catch is waiting. But men like that are setting a trap for themselves, a trap in which they will die. Robbery always claims the life of the robber. This is what happens to anyone who lives by violence. Wisdom calls. Listen, wisdom is calling. Out in the streets and marketplaces, calling loud at the city gates and wherever people come together. Foolish people! How long do you want to be foolish? How long will you enjoy making fun of knowledge? Will you never learn? Listen when I reprimand you. I will give you good advice and share my knowledge with you. I have been calling you, inviting you to come, but you would not listen. You paid no attention to me. You have ignored all my advice and have not been willing to let me correct you. So, when you get into trouble, I will laugh at you. I will make fun of you when terror strikes. When it comes on you like a storm, bringing fierce winds of trouble, and you are in pain and misery, then you will call for wisdom, but I will not answer. You will look for me everywhere, but you will not find me. You have never had any use for knowledge and have always refused to obey the Most High. You have never wanted my advice or paid any attention when I corrected you. So then you will get what you deserve, and your own actions will make you sick. Inexperienced people die because they reject wisdom. Stupid people are destroyed by their own lack of concern. But whoever listens to me will have security. He will be safe with no reason to be afraid. That was wisdom speaking. Oh, okay. That was good. You know, it's always different when I read it when I'm actually awake. Wow. So that was Proverbs 1, which kind of puts the Proverbs we've been reading into perspective. Wisdom is on the scene. Wisdom is right here. Wisdom is there for you to get the knowledge and the information that's all there, but you have to listen, right? And you have to obey. But wisdom says you don't have to. But you know what? When you need me, I'm not going to listen to you. When you fall, I'm going to watch you fall. Okay, so 1-9 says, their teachings will improve your character as a handsome turban or necklace improves your appearance. That's the turban, the necklace. So it's like put on wisdom is what it's saying. Wear wisdom. And this is going to be this earrings, necklaces. And I have found that where, what if you have matching earrings and necklace on, people think you're dressed up. I have tested that a lot. Let's see. This was an interesting proverb. It sets the tone for the rest of the proverbs. Kind of makes them all make sense now. That they're short, pithy sayings. Like I said, they're tweets. Basically, they're little tweets before there were tweets. Sometimes I just like coloring outside the lines. I do. I've always liked being different. Coloring outside the lines. So, 1:11 through 15. I remember this one. This is, son, don't go with people like that. Stay away from them. They can't wait to do something bad. They're always ready to kill. It does no good to spread a net when the bird you want to catch is watching. But men like that are setting a trap for themselves, a trap in which they will die. Where they say, come on, let's do bad. Let's go to their house. They might be alive now, but they're going to be dead later. Come on, come on. That's that peer pressure. When you are a young person, a teenager, you get that peer pressure. I'm going to put the person as green. They don't know better. This little person doesn't know better. It's like, come on, come with us. It's going to be fun. Remember that? Remember those days when people would say that? You didn't know because you've never experienced whatever it is they were getting ready to do. Get high, drink, go to the party. It's so fun. Come on. Shoo. The stories I could tell, I won't tell them here. But the stories I could tell when I fell into that trap, like, it was not fun to me. Maybe this is your level of fun, but it is not mine. Sorry. Yeah, not for me. Let me just try to get out of this alive. Right? That's all I was trying to do at some point in time, especially in college. Like, you didn't know any better. You're on your own. You're making your own decisions. You don't have anybody to tell you when to come home, anything. So you can get into trouble like that. 128. Then you will call for wisdom, but I will not answer. You may look for me everywhere, but you will not find me. Yeah. And that's where people are right now. These are people right this second, crying out, wondering what has happened. Why don't I have a job? Why is food so expensive? Help me. They never had to cry and call out like this. They don't even, it's like, who do I ask? Oh, really? A God. And you're like, but you've been not listening to wisdom this whole time because you thought you had it made. You thought you had money in the bank. You had a job. And I'm going to cry out and I'm not going to listen to you. These people are crying out. Wisdom is not listening. Because wisdom has been with the Most High since the beginning. Wisdom is that ruach, the breath. Right? 133. But whoever listens to me will have security. He will be safe with no reason to be afraid. Here's this person right here, like easy, cold, chilling, like la da 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 da, and that's how I feel. Honestly, like honestly, I do. It's like I'm like, this is a bunch of noise. Don't have nothing to do with me, with my people. Nothing at all. March for what? Vote for what? Go to church? Are you crazy? To do what? What? So I can give somebody else my money so they can not have to really work? And I'm sitting up here reading this for myself. Like you could read this for yourself. So yeah, yes. Proverbs 1. Great. Till next time. It's right at keeping it real.